no matter how complex the technology is, I will break it down into building blocks. And those building blocks help me to not just clearly visualize what's going on, but it helps me to grasp the complexity in a simple, easy to digest manner. And hi everyone, my name is Misha Habib, and over the last 2 decades, I feel like I've been living and breathing tech. I have a master's in information systems from the London School of Economics, and I have worked in different parts of the world. But since 2016, I have been in California's Bay Area, working at Fortune 500 companies like Walmart.com and Airbnb. And I share this with you to help you understand that I am very comfortable and familiar with the tech space. And given that, even I am feeling so overwhelmed by all the changes that have come about thanks to AI.
And throughout my education and career, AI has very much been a part of my work. But the kind of AI we're seeing right now is very different. To give you a super simple example, let's take Microsoft Word. Since the 1990s, Microsoft Word has an AI feature, autocorrect. This is a tool that will automatically correct common spellings, typing, and capitalization errors. Since 2016, Microsoft Word also has something called Microsoft Editor, which will provide suggestions. So, for example, it would provide recommendations to improve one's writing style, tone, grammar. So, both these AI features, the autocorrect and suggestions, support users in creating and editing documents. They're essentially a machine supplying corrections and providing suggestions. Sometimes it would add value, other times it would totally miss the mark.
So these are great tools and they've been very helpful and not something that one would step away and look at and be like, all right, I'm using AI. It was just like, okay, this is a category of technology that has been incorporated.
So AI was helpful, but it's nothing like the kind of AI we're seeing today. Because generative AI has a very different feeling and flavor. And rather than feeling like it's a machine providing support, it feels more like a person. And this shift from AI being a useful category of technology to now being a machine version of a really smart and competent person is very quickly reshaping what working with tech and even what working within tech means. So, coming back to AI being a tool I use for corrections and suggestions, I'm going to take you through another example. I'm going to read 3 sentences out to you. So, generative AI is redefining entire industries, communication, and creativity. It doesn't just provide information, it adapts, creates, and interacts in ways that feel conversational. It's now being used to write articles, create designs, provide customer support, and even draft legal documents, things that were previously unthinkable. So I wrote the script for this video and I shared it with ChatGPT to provide feedback and suggestions. And it suggested that I include these 3 sentences. That, along with it suggesting that I emphasize the importance of the ethical implications of using generative AI. So, taking ChatGPT's suggestion into consideration, here's a question for people like us to decide. Should I be telling you that ChatGPT helped me write these lines? And if so, how do I do that without overwhelming you with details? So, yes, this is a big step up from AI features like autocorrect and suggestions that we're used to in Microsoft Word. And these AI upgrades that we're seeing, they're nothing like what we're used to when it comes to technological advancement and development. We're used to what Apple provides us with the upgrades we see with iPhone. Now, I also want to say that AI has consistently been a category of technology that has been utilized to create the wonderful products that we use in the world. But this advancement has turned everything upside down. And it's requiring us to reimagine and reinvent how we interact with technology and how we leverage technology. And so, while I'm very comfortable diving into the depths of technology, both to understand it and to apply it, where technology really shines is where we can utilize it to bring us together, where it connects people and they benefit from its creation and its utilization. And a lot of my career in tech has been that of a communication medium between technical and non technical groups. And that feeling of progress when people, ideas, and perspectives come together to unleash new ways of thinking and understanding, that is what I get really excited about when I think about the next phase that we're coming into with generative AI. So, as I'm researching and collecting information and just trying to wrap my head around what this new phase of technology is and what it really means to be living and working in this new world where generative AI is moving fast at lightning speed with changes and ideas. In August of this year, I published a book titled A Beginner's Guide to Smart Living with AI. And this was my own attempt to clarify where I am already working with AI, where it really is essential for this smart life that we have grown accustomed to. And I think what's happened up till now is because AI has been a category of technology, it's kind of creeped into life very subtly. There are different features, upgrades. It would be nice, interesting, and you just start to incorporate it. So, what I did was I compiled this book mostly just for myself to get an understanding of where I am with AI and where I feel that it is clearly adding value. I also wanted to understand how much publishing has changed since I last put together a manuscript and tried to publish a book.
And I was not looking for an audience for this book. This was essentially me doing my own research, and I wanted to share it with family, friends, and colleagues and former colleagues in the hope of getting some thoughts and ideas. But to my pleasant surprise, in its first week of going live, it went to number one. So it was a number one new release on Amazon. And when I started looking into the dashboard, I saw that they were readers from places that I know I don't have family and friends yet. There was a significant amount of viewership, for example, in Japan and Brazil. And this was very exciting for many reasons. Firstly, it was so gratifying to see that my book is being read by people who are not just trying to support me and my work. They genuinely had an interest and they were getting value out of it since the book was being read from cover to cover, which itself was so encouraging to see.
It also made me feel that this is a research that I'm doing that will benefit not just myself, but others if I allow them to participate and ask questions. What I'm looking to do is to create this YouTube channel with the intention of creating a safe space where people can ask questions, share ideas, and I can come and present the research and findings that I'm collecting as I'm working on all this.
In order for me to share the style with which I will be presenting my work and sharing it with you, I have to take you back to my first computer class. And this happened in the fourth grade. In the fourth grade, before a time when the internet was a thing, these were these giant desktops. And I remember the teachers would tell us that the computer has a brain, and the brain is a microchip. And then there were sample microchips that were passed around the class for students to see. The first time I saw a microchip up close in my hand, I looked at it and I'm like, this is such a beautiful piece of Lego. Just the intricate design, the complexity, it was just a little work of art. But essentially for me, I was like, oh, it makes sense because, it's a brain. That's why it's so complicated looking. As simple and simplistic as the idea was, I have carried it with me throughout my education and career, and I have found it to be very helpful. No matter how complex the technology is, I will break it down into building blocks. And those building blocks help me to not just clearly visualize what's going on, but it helps me to grasp the complexity in a simple, easy to digest manner.
So now, even decades later, when I'm trying to grasp new ideas and technologies, I will take it back to the idea of technology as essentially a construction of these tiny building blocks that have been snapped together. It makes it a lot easier for me to process and even to explain to others when I'm trying to break down complex ideas into simpler, easy to understand concepts. So I introduced this idea in my first book where I break down different AI categories into building blocks and share that basically there are 6 AI categories that one needs to build a foundation for a smart life. I will share a sample chapter in a link below. I'm going to share chapter 2 of voice activated assistance, as I feel if you have a smartphone, then you will, if even if you don't use voice assistants, you will have some familiarity with it.
So the reason I'm sharing voice activated assistance is because I feel if you are living in today's world, chances are you have a smartphone. And if you have a smartphone, then you have access to voice activated assistance. And it is, in order to actually get value from it, step one is to actually start to use it. And when you use it, you'll get familiar, then you'll start to see the advantages. And it's as simple as just calling out to Siri, or if you're using Alexa or Google Assistant. But the chapter will take you through exactly what the voice activated assistant is. And there's also demos in it. So I've tried to make it as easy and accessible to everyone as possible. So I would love your thoughts and feedback on that. In the same way, I have been using the concept of building blocks to understand and grasp generative AI. And with generative AI, I have, in my research, I have broken generative AI down to 5 basic building blocks. So generative AI can be understood as essentially 5 basic building blocks. So, and I'll create a video to share that as well. You are still trying to wrap your head around what generative AI is. This concept will really help to clarify it, and you will get far more comfortable understanding what generative AI is and what the mechanics are, and help to demystify it a lot. I will try my best to use illustrations with Lego looking building blocks. I will create them with DALI to see how it works, but I'm excited to share that with you as well.
So I decided to create this channel in the hopes of sharing this journey with a group of other like-minded people. And as I explore AI and its implications, I would love for you to join me. I would really like this to be a space where we can learn and tackle it together. So I'd like to invite you to ask questions, share your own experiences, and provide feedback as we explore AI together. If there's any specific areas you'd like me to tackle on this channel, I am doing research for the second book, and a lot of it would be based on what I feel is information that people are looking for.
My hope is this channel will help bring all of us together to share ideas, thoughts, and just to add value. One of the great things about living in today's modern world is we can all come together to share common issues and not just share ideas, but help each other to grow and navigate through them. And this is what my hope is for this channel. So if this is something that appeals to you, something that you are curious about, if you're feeling overwhelmed by I really feel this channel will be a great way for us to embark on this journey together. So please do consider subscribing and liking this video so I also get some feedback and understanding on if this is resonating with others. Please do leave some comments. Let me understand what you're looking forward to learning more about.
So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for considering going on this journey with me. I'm excited to work on the next video, and I'm also trying to get comfortable with this platform and trying to understand different things like the lighting and editing and making sure the audio is working. This is a new space for me. I'm not used to being on this side of technology, but one of the greatest benefits of technology is how it connects people, how it connects people who would never have been able to cross paths, even be separated by language and cultures. And thanks to technology, not only can they come together and live a more rich and colorful life, but also together can create synergies that make the world a better place. And I am so excited to see what all we can do on this channel together. Thank you so much.